back to this channel where we spread love and positive vibes. Guys, I want to start by thanking our new subscribers, our returning subscribers. We don't take you for granted. We thank you so much. And today I came across something that I want to talk about. I was looking at the 14 parish in Jamaica. Jamaica is divided into 14 parishes, and all of them are different and unique in their own ways. And therefore, I was going through the different parishes and I realized there are some parishes where the rich and the who is who in Jamaica lives. Where people, great people in Jamaica and even expatriates that have come from different countries come and settle in those parishes or in the estates in those parishes. And I was astonished to see the kind of riches, let me call them, the kind of wealth that can be concentrated in some of these parishes. I found the parishes very wealthy in terms of accumulated wealth by individual people and by actually businesses that are actually bringing a lot of wealth to Jamaica. And today I decided to talk about where the rich and politicians live in Jamaica. You are going to get astonished because it's not only Jamaicans that live in these estates. There are other people that we know all over the world that come here either to visit or have actually bought houses here, and that is where they have settled. I always say Jamaica is a place whereby many people are attracted to this country, and it could be a small island, but they actually tower. Because if I tell you the kind of people that come and settle, or rather that come and visit and spend time in some of these parishes, you'll get astonished. Without further ado, let me go to the first parish that is full of business activities, a lot of work going on in this parish. It is actually the capital city of Jamaica, and it is full of activities and full of very rich estates where the who and who in Jamaica lives. And this parish is none other than Kingston. The capital city of Kingston is Kingston. I think the same name without an E at the end. So in this capital city, Kingston, there are several, can I call them estates? Here in Kenya we call them estates, but I don't know what they are called in Jamaica. So there are several estates where the rich and the business people live. And one of them is New Kingston Estate. This is actually a financial and business district where a lot of activities take place. It has a high-rise apartments. It has actually very high-rise apartments. And in these apartments, there are luxurious condos. In other words, in that New Kingston, there are very high apartments, and there are luxurious condos and actually mansions of who is who in Jamaica. Many of Jamaicans elect business people and actually leaders, politicians live in this Newston estate. You can actually imagine the kind of houses in Kingston estate. I'm going to find whether I can see the type of houses in Kingston estate, and I put a clip up there so that you can see the kind of life that these people who live in New Kingston estate have. They are who is who. Here in Kenya, there is only one estate. Actually, I think it's one estate where we have this political class living. We have actually two, let me say two estates, which I know. I personally know where the who is who in Kenya lives. One of them is Karen. Karen is where our president used to live before he came to State House. We have Karen, where the who is who lives, and also we have Runda. Runda is just next to Nairobi City, and therefore when I talk about Kingston, it's an estate like Runda here in Kenya, or even better, because as you can see, this is where politicians live, and the business people, and the readers. But in Runda Estate, we have even people, the common people living in Runda. But here in Jamaica, Kingston is who living in New Kingston. New Kingston is an estate in Kingston City, or capital city of Jamaica. The other estate in Kingston is Stony Hill. In Stony Hill, it has large gated community houses and homes owned by the country's richest families. So the rich families in Jamaica some of them live in this Stony Hill estate. It has gated communities, and that is why where the rich people live. Then there is Cherry Gardens. Cherry Gardens is an exclusive neighborhood with very great, nice homes set in lush private grounds. In other words, in this estate, we have individuals maybe developing their own plots, or they have bought their own plots and they develop private houses. And you can imagine the type of houses that are in Cherry Gardens, because it's who is able to buy this land and construct their houses. So in Kingston alone, we have the New Kingston Estate, we have the Stony Hill Estate, and we have the Cherry Gardens Estate. And these estates contains most of the known rich politicians, readers, business people in Jamaica. And actually Kingston is where everybody, just like we come all the way from all corners of Kenya to come to Nairobi, Kingston being the capital city of Jamaica, many people come there for their business deals and also for their different activities that are done by a town which is the capital city of a given country. Let us go to the other parish that holds or accommodates who is who. And this is none other than Montego Bay. Let me tell you guys, I found that Montego Bay has some of the greatest hotels where some of the great people that we know have come and spent their time in these hotels, or even bought some land here and constructed houses in Montego Bay. Remember that Montego Bay is actually a tourism attraction area, and therefore it has attracted people inside Jamaica and even outside Jamaica. One of the estates found in Montego Bay is the Rose Hall Estate. The Rose Hall Estate has lavish resorts, properties, golf course, private villas owned by Jamaicans wealthy and famous, as well as foreign investors. So it's not only Jamaicans that actually occupy these expensive villas. Even the foreign people have come and invested here in Montego Bay in Rose Hall Estate. Then we have the Round Hill Estate, and also we have the Round Hill Hotel, and I'm going to talk about it. So the Round Hill Estate, let me start with the estate, is a high resort with high-end, mighty people occupying these luxurious vacational homes. They are actually vacational homes belonging to international people, celebrities, and CEOs. Oh my God. Montego Bay is actually a hub of who is who in the whole world. Not just Jamaica, in the whole world. It has vacational homes, and it has also land or rather private vacational homes. So they have built vacational homes, and this is the home that belongs to international celebrities and CEOs. So people all over the world come and invest in Montego Bay. Some of the people that have been known to have visited the Round Hill Estate, where the Round Hill Hotel is, are Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is actually a fashion designer, and he has bought land in Montego Bay, and he has built a very big home in Montego Bay. Apart from that, we have the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle actually visited the Round Hill Hotel, and they slept, or rather spent their time in one of the villas in the Round Hill Hotel. Apart from Meghan, there are people who have visited the Round Hill Hotel, like John F. Kennedy. He actually came for the honeymoon. Oh my God. Jamaica is not just a country. It is a vibe. I tell you, John F. Kennedy first visited Jamaica for honeymoon. When he did the wedding together with Jackie Kennedy, he came and had his honeymoon in a Round Hill Hotel, and he spent his time, I think, in Villa 25. So he slept and spent their time in Villa 25, and later, after he became the president, he went back to Jamaica and actually went to the same place, and he occupied Villa 10. So you can imagine the type of people that Jamaica holds. Apart from John F. Kennedy, there is James Bond. This person is a writer, a very well-known writer, and he came to these hotels, actually the Round Hill Hotel, to write his novel, his book, which is a novel. So James Bond spent time in the Round Hill Hotel when he was actually writing the novel. Apart from James Bond, there is Lupita Nyong'o, a Kenyan American citizen, and we know her. Lupita Nyong'o also went to Jamaica and actually spent her time in the Round Hill Hotel. Apart from that, we have Michelle Williams. There are so many celebrities that come to this place to spend their time there. Let me mention some of them. We have Khloe Kardashian, who actually spent some time in the Round Hill Hotel. We also have Selena Gomez, who spent her time in the Round Hill. So I had mentioned Khloe Kardashian spent her time in Round Hill Hotel, and then the Kennedys, they came to their honeymoon there and spent their time there. Then there is Simon Cowell. Oh my God. Jamaica is not just an island. It is actually a hub of activities and a hub of tourism and a hub of celebrities. Many celebrities come to visit Jamaica because of the beauty of the land and these resorts. So the Montego Bay, in the Round Hill Hotel, this is where most of the celebrities spent their honeymoon, spent their time if they want to come and have a good time. Like we have seen, Harry and Meghan Markle had actually come and spent their time in Round Hill Hotel. We have Simon Cowell, we have Khloe Kardashian, we have celebrities like Selena Gomez. You can imagine such people just coming to spend their time in the Round Hill Hotel. That is how Jamaica is famous. The other estate that I wanted, okay, in the Montego Bay, we had the Rose Hall Estate, we had the Round Hill Estate, and we have the Iron Shore Estate. In this Iron Shore Estate, it has mansions and stylish homes occupied by Jamaicans, businessmen, and political elites. So political elites and leaders and business people do not just stay in Kingston, New Kingston, they also stay in Iron Shore in Montego Bay. So you can see that Jamaica has got a lot of places that are homes for who is who in Jamaica. I was shocked because, like I have told you, here in Kenya we have only 2 estates. where you will find who is who in Kenya. You'll find them in Runda, or you find them in Muthaiga, or you find them in Karen Estate. Otherwise, Runda, you'll find a mixture of who is who and other people who have actually business people who have money. Yeah, because a plot in Runda will cost a lot of money, by the way. So in Jamaica, I've seen these estates are so many. Like in Kingston alone, we have seen there are how many estates? There are 3. New Kingston, the Stony Hill, and the Cherry Gardens. In Montego Bay, we have found there are also 3. Rosehall Estate, Loud Hill Estate, Iron Shore Estate. Then we come to St. Anne. St. Anne has the Ocho Rios. We have come across Ocho Rios where we found the Dan River. I think it's in Ocho Rios if I'm not wrong. This is a place popular for tourism. It is actually a tourist hub with many all-inclusive resorts and private villas owned by the rich people in Jamaica. So you can see that the rich in Jamaica are actually very, very rich. If they are owning resorts, they are owning private villas, then these people are actually very, very rich. Apart from that, in St. Anne's, we do not have just Ocho Rio, we have the Calabash Bay. Calabash Bay is in actually St. Elizabeth. So we have the Runway Bay in St. Anne. And this Runway Bay, it has wealthy Jamaicans who live there and also foreigners, and it has high-end estates. So there are foreigners that live in Runway Bay Estate and the wealthy people in Jamaica. This is still in St. Anne. So in St. Anne, we have 2 estates where who is who in Jamaica lives. We have the Ocho Rio Estate and we have the Runway Bay Estate. And then we come to St. Elizabeth. In St. Elizabeth, we have the Calabash Bay. This is a coastal community. Those people that want to live near the coast or rather near the sea, this is where they go. And it has great estates and private villas where these people go and occupy. Maybe they purchase or they rent or they spend some time there and they pay the owner of the villa. So you can see Jamaica has got a lot of estates that who is who in Jamaica actually comes to occupy. I think in Jamaica, I'm not very sure, but I think so. There are so many parishes. We have the Kingston parish, we have the Montego Bay parish, we have the St. Anne's, we have the St. Elizabeth, we have the St. Mary, we have the Hanover parish, we have the St. James parish. The ones I'm not remembering, you can actually remind me. And among all those parishes, we have actually covered only Kingston, we have covered Montego Bay, we have covered St. Anne's, and we have covered St. Elizabeth. You can imagine the other 10 parishes are not homes for the rich there. I don't know, maybe the Jamaicans in the house, they can tell us whether they are rich people living in St. Andrew, St. Mary, St. where? Hanover parish, where else? Hanover, and then there is what? There are 14 of them. So I've mentioned St. Andrew, St. James, Hanover, St. Andrew, St. James, St. what? Hanover Estate, I mean Hanover Parish. You can remind us the other parishes that are in Jamaica. There are many, there are 14 of them, but we have just mentioned only 4. Meaning that the other parishes, either they are not so rich, or then there is Manchester. By the way, there is a story I saw somewhere about Manchester, that it is a parish whereby there is a lot of things that come from there. Maybe the Jamaicans in the house can tell us. There is a lot of agriculture, in Manchester, you can confirm that. There is a lot of mining. I don't know whether bauxite is actually in Manchester parish, where it is actually dug, bauxite. And there is also a lot of growing of yams in Manchester. You can tell us in the comment below. So I saw that the gap between the rich and the poor in Jamaica is actually just like here in Kenya. So we have people who are so rich, and there are others that are just moderate, and there are others that are so poor. That is the situation here in Kenya. And as I was looking at these estates and where the rich live, it's like the rich are concentrated near the capital city of Jamaica, because I'm sure from Kingston to Montego Bay, it's not a long distance, because I saw the Mwango talking about a train that comes from Kingston to Montego Bay to Ochorio, which is in St. Anne's. So these estates, I think they are concentrated in one place. Maybe the Jamaicans in the house can tell us. Meaning that the other estates, St. Mary, St. Andrew, Hanover, and what else? Manchester, the other parishes are straightly away from the capital city, and therefore they are not as wealthy as the estates that are near the capital city. And this happens obviously in every country, because here in Kenya, the people that are near the CBD, capital city of Kenya, Nairobi, they are said to be more well-off, more educated, more exposed, and all that than the others. I don't know whether that is true in Jamaica. You can comment in the comment below. But I was seeing there are reasons why there is so much disparity between the rich and the poor in Jamaica. These are some of the facts I came across why the gap is so wide between the rich and the poor in Jamaica. So let me highlight them. These are the causes, or rather some of the reasons why there is a very large disparity between the rich and the wealthy and the poor in Jamaica. So there is unequal access to education. That is what I saw. Maybe the Jamaicans in the house can confirm or tell us whether it is true or not. So there is unequal access to education and opportunities. This is because the best schools in Jamaica and the resources are concentrated in the wealthy areas. And this is true because if the capital city is Kingston, and these parishes I've talked about are actually near Kingston, it means that the best schools are in Kingston, are in St. Anne's, are in Montego Bay, are in St. Elizabeth. And therefore the poor cannot access the best of the schools, and therefore they do not get quality education to be able to go there and compete with the elites. They have no access to these good schools, and this limits those from poor background accessing the good schools, and therefore they are left behind. So that is one of the reasons I saw why there is a high disparity between the poor and the rich in Jamaica. The other one is employment opportunities. Of course, the people who are going to get jobs are the educated elites. And if these people, they are affected by the kind of education they receive, maybe in the rural areas or rather in the other parishes that are very, very far away from the capital city, Kingston, they do not get quality education, and therefore they do not perform as well as the people in these three parishes do. And therefore, when it comes to employment, the elites are considered. And this makes it difficult for those without connections to get these positions. So you can see the problem, because if it becomes like here in Kenya, the rich, the politicians and the rich actually own the best positions in the government institutions, in the government jobs, and therefore for a poor person to be able to climb the ladder and reach where they are, it is next to impossible. And I can imagine it is the same case in Jamaica. So the other reason I found is that concentration of economy, it is actually concentrated in the industries like the banking, the real estate, which are dominated by the small number of wealthy families. Can you imagine that? So the economy depends on industries, which are tourism, which are actually banking. We saw that most of the people in Jamaica are actually absorbed in the tourism industry, in the banking industry, and the real estate industry. And these industries are owned by the few who are rich. And therefore, they have favorism. Like here in Kenya, they have favorism on which tribe you come from, on where you are, your name. Actually, here in Kenya, it's a very, very great problem. Because if the CEO of a company is a Ruo, and I don't come from Ruo, which is obvious from our names, because here in Kenya, we have different way of naming. And therefore, every tribe, every community, they have a way of naming, and you can tell where a person comes from their name. So if you're from Kikuyu land, and it is a Ruo who is a CEO, you're not going to get that job. The minute they see your name, you are disqualified by just where you come from, by just the tribe you belong. So I can imagine the rich here employ their rich ones and leave the poor. And this is the case here in Kenya, and that is why the gap between the poor and the rich in Kenya is very, very high. Legacy of colonialism is another factor, and slavery. Small land owning rights. In other words, the land was gotten by a small number of people, and they actually developed it, and they accumulated wealth on their own, while the other people are being left poor. And this applies even here in Kenya. There are those rich that took the colonial land and they developed that land, and they are very rich, while the poor remains poor. So you can see the reasoning are just the same as here. Corruption, and actually corruption has actually brought this disparity even here in Kenya. A lot of corruption, a lot of stealing of public wealth, a lot of things that are going on the ground, and that is why the poor can never wake up to be who they are supposed to be. Here in Kenya, to be a head of institution, like for example in a school, you have to bribe. It is so unfortunate, meaning that if you cannot bribe, you'll never climb the ladder. You can imagine a poor person whether you'll ever be anything. And that is what is happening here in Kenya. I don't know whether it is happening still in Jamaica, but this is the reasons I found there is a very high disparity between the poor and the rich. And that is why maybe the other parishes are not being mentioned in terms of owning estates, owning a lot of wealth, owning all that we have talked about in the 4 parishes that we have covered. Very, very unfortunate, but this is life. We have to work hard. We have to tell God that one day He will make a way where there is no way. The other thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is about Colaz, Smith, and Kino. Sometimes all of us start a group and start projects in good faith to help the people that we have put in the team, to help the people that we have put in the group, so that they can grow, or rather they can move up to where God has destined them to be. We become their destiny connectors. But many a times, these people do not recognize where you have gotten them from, where you have taken them to, where you have, the handles they have crossed with you, the exposure they have gotten with you. When they start stabbing your back, they don't look at all that. They will stab your back so that they can move to the next level. They will use your head and your hands to move to the next level, to move higher than you. And this is the problem with humanity, all humanity, especially if you are making a group that has more than 5 people. You will actually find one of the people is actually a snitch. That person will poison all the others and actually bring the group down if you're not careful, if you're not watchful, if you're not a person who can actually read the minds of the people and the intentions of people and the hearts of people. The Bible says the hearts of people are evil the minds of people, not hearts. The minds of people are evil. And for sure, I have come to realize people are not what you think they are. They are good people, very good people in the society, and just like they are good people, they are evil people, they are average people, they are very, very evil people. So in this world, people are divided into categories, and when you are good, you always think that everybody is as good as you. He cannot do anything wrong. He cannot have a bad mind. Like there is a time in my working place, I had a guy, and I thought, in my mind, I thought that everybody is like you. They think like you. They reason like you. They can never hurt anybody just like you are. But I realized people are very different. There are people who will actually stab your back, who will actually do things, weird things, to bring you down, who will actually purposely do something to bring you down. I realized that. And the minute I realized that, I want to write a letter of advice to Colaz and Kino. It is good to help people. That is the best thing you can do when you are on this earth. But at the same time, it is good to help them when they are very, very far away from you. What am I saying? You can make a group, but that group to have very, very few people, after scrutinizing them and knowing their minds and knowing their intentions and knowing their thoughts, and whether they are after the welfare of your project or team. So to get such people, of course you have to go through vetting, and you have to spend some time with them, and you have to be a person who can be able to identify a genuine person and a liar and a con and a backstabber. You have to have that. Of course you can pray to God to show you what kind of people you are working with, because it's only God who searches the hearts of men, and he knows them more than you can know them. He's the only one who can lead you to the right people. So when I saw Colaz and Kino complaining about people coming to talk about them, people trying to bring them down, people actually backstabbing them, people they have helped, people they have built for houses, people they have been working with, people they have been paying tickets to actually fly outside Jamaica, people they have been actually looking for passports for them to be exposed, people who have been exposed to the world to know them, and they come when they get to be known, they actually come and try to tell others how bad you are so that you can calm down. I saw people mentioning socks. I don't know whether socks is a backstabber, but in the comment section, I saw people mentioning socks and saying that socks looks like he is hiding something, and there is something fishy about him, and he's after maybe Colaz going down. I also heard about Nick. Nick is actually spoiling or poisoning the others so that the group can come down, and it is very, very unfortunate when somebody opens their mind to you, opens their time to you, opens their resources to you so that you can grow together, and you think that you can make a lot of money without him. This does not happen, by the way. You will come back begging him to receive you again, and it will be too late. So it's good to humble yourself and to Colaz just take the group like you had taken it, but stay with them for a short time as you run them, as you run their characteristics, as you run their behavior, as you run their thoughts, as you run their motives. And after you have known their motives, you just lay down some and remain with the trustworthy. Like I saw people recommending Miss Retro and the Sun and a guy called Jimmy. You can be left with the people whom you know, you trust so well, and they can help you to do the work that you are doing. Otherwise, to keep on recruiting a very large team, you cannot contain it, you cannot control it, and some of them will backstab you and bring you down. So as you do the charity work, as you do the great work that you are doing, it's good to actually have a plan. a plan that the team members are supposed to be exactly this, and I'm not going to exceed this, and they are going to be vetted so that I can know their motives, I can know their thoughts, I can know everything about them before I incorporate them into my projects. That is the way to go. Otherwise, human beings are funny, human beings are good, human beings can be weird, human beings can stab you at the back and not feel anything. So it depends on a person where they have been brought up from, the way they have been socialized, their characteristics, their conscious, whether they have a conscience that can tell them they are doing wrong or not. So for Colaz Smith and Kino, just take your time. Recruit people and vet them and know that you have a good team member that cannot backstab you and talk about you. You see Marwa was trying to help people, and he actually incorporated so many people to help them open channels, and he could actually assist them to grow those channels. What did they do to him? In the long run, they came and backstabbed him, and they are actually giving him a headache right now. So people are not the same. They have not been born by the same mother. They have been brought up in different places, and they can act differently. So it is good to know who you are working with and who the member of your team is. And I think my video will end there. Thank you. See you during next